I mean,
Correct, correct.
and the requirement is also more, sir, actually, to
More.
be honest, very much
Mm.
high. So this is what,
Correct.
so today I'd like to give them overview of data science, AI,
Yes,
ML,
yes.
TL.
Yes,
Tomorrow a
yes.
bit of NLP, natural language processing.
Mm.
Mainly another simple artificial intelligence is something where you mimic human brains.
Correct.
Like how human beings are thinking, we are making machines to do all those. So
True.
that is very difficult actually. Even to give a small expression that takes lot
This
of
is, yeah, this industry is not going to stop at this point.
oh,
Too
no,
much
no,
effort. Too
still
much effort.
innovations are going on in natural language processing. Like
Just a baby step
research is going
alva.
on. ಹೌದು
Correct.
ಸರ್ ಹೌದೌದು ತುಂಬಾ ಇದಿದೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಇದೆ so they are in right time if they start now if they are
Correct,
like
correct,
even though if they are started with some offer letter or something
correct.
it's right time to start I know
Yeah.
the mentality now they've got an offer letter they're very happy yeah that is good I'd like to
You should
congratulate
tell them. You should tell them that you have 9 offer letters and you have 15 more to go. Correct.
yeah sir that's what I'm like no that is how it is market now like in
Correct.
demand
Correct.
every day I get 3 4 calls for interview. So,
Hmm.
and I lose track of emails, which one to attend the next one, because I say
Hmm.
it would have gone somewhere back. So
See,
that's the
that
thing.
is what you should aim for. So that is what
Yeah,
you
sir.
should
Yeah,
tell to your juniors.
yeah, true.
See, you
I'll tell
should
them
not.
the tips also because
Yes,
it isn't
yes.
easy for to get the calls. There are
Correct.
certain tips you need to follow in
Correct.
Naukri or LinkedIn,
Hmm.
GitHub, all those things because now competition
Tell
is
them
very much.
because most of them they don't know. They are still stuck up with the subjects and teaching and learning.
Adhe sir, adhe.
ಇನ್ನು ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅವರು. So you
Bharat,
you 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 tell them like what they have to do, where they have
yeah,
to learn.
definitely, sir, definitely. You need to be adontara job searching only is a different art.
Correct, correct. Yes, yes.
This is taught in any college. You have to do it on your own.
Correct, correct, correct.
Anyway,
Okay.
sir, definitely I'll help them.
Yeah. So you started. You put your PPT and then started, and
Yeah, sure,
I'll
sir.
Rashmi will introduce you in another few minutes. Okay.
Yeah, no
So
problem, sir.
anyway, I'll get back to you again later on. Huh?
Sure, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your
Okay, man.
opportunity. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks. Hello, all.
Hi. So
Hello, Rashmi.
before, yeah, hi Ajit. So I'll just give a small intro, and you can start over.
Yeah, no
So
problem.
good morning, everyone. Today we have with us Mr. Ajit C, an alumni of 2015. He's currently the data scientist lead at IBM. He will be briefing us through the workshop today and tomorrow on an overview of data science and the pathways we can follow to succeed in our life. Thank you.
Thanks for the intro, Rashmi. So, hello, guys. Good morning. Almost close to afternoon. So, this is Ajit Charaga. So, currently, I am working in IBM as a data science lead. So, and also I'm proud alumni of CMRIT. So that's something which I'm always proud of. So the main intention of this particular workshop is to give you an overview of data science. In this 4 hours of workshop, definitely I cannot teach you end-to-end data science, guys. But trust me, I think you can take some amount of knowledge where you can start your career in data science because this is where the future is, guys. You have zettabyte of data which is generating each and every day, so you need to have a data scientist, an AI developer to manage this data. What do you do with this data? That's where the business stands. So I had this intention to teach you so that you can learn something out of this workshop is the overall objective. So in order to start, let me start sharing my screen. So let's start by this. Like today, we would be starting an overview of data science, the buzzwords, what you can see in everywhere. Even if you have a YouTube channel, if the video is going on, you get an ad, data science course, join karo, all those things, and you have AI, machine learning, deep learning. So let's get a clarity on all those today. And tomorrow we'll be going for NLP. What is NLP? And after that, I will be showing you the data science roadmap. In order to learn data science, what all you need to study, what all tools you need to study. So that's what I would like to give a roadmap of it. And yeah, like in this 2 hours, 1 hour, after 1 hour, we'll be having some 5 minutes break. And at the end, I can spare any number of time, any amount of time in order to give you like solve all your doubts. Like whoever wants to ask anything, you're free to ask. So at the end, after 2 hours, you can jot down what all doubts after seeing my PPT presentation, and at the end we can have the doubt clearing session. So sounds good. I hope that sounds good. I'm seeing the chat. So if anything, you can ping in the chat. If any doubt in between also. you can feel free to just ping in the chat if you have any doubts also in between. Okay. So yeah, let's start with the presentation, guys. Rashmi, can you confirm is my screen visible?
Not yet.
Okay. Yeah, no?
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So starting with intro to data science. Basically, this is not something new. Like this was something old, but due to lack of data, we could not do any AI inventions, or in order to become a data science, in order to do any innovations, we didn't have sufficient amount of data. The main difference all this long was, before in any development, we used to give the input to the computer, and the computer used to give the output. But AI is one system where we are training it in such a way where it would be doing its work on its own without any human intervention. That's one big magic of the AI, where we do not need any human intervention being involved here, and the computer itself has to understand. It has to understand based on the relationship given to it prior model building. So it has to understand in such a way that it has to take the decision on its own without any intervention of human being. So this particular slide, I've just got it to make you understand that human beings, we are trying to mimic machines in such a way that they're able to think as intelligent as human beings. So the main requirement for this is to data. So as a data scientist, you need to build an AI application. The end goal is to build an AI application. That's the end goal. So if you have heard of different terminologies such as data scientist, machine learning, artificial intelligence, deep learning, NLP, all those things. So let's unwrap it one by one. So this particular Venn diagram, what you can see, so the intersection here is data science. In order to become a data science or a data scientist, so the end goal is to build an AI application. So what do you mean by AI application? Something which a machine can do on its own without human intervention. So in order to do this, so you need something called we make use of artificial intelligence tool on the left side, such as machine learning, deep learning, and you have NLP here. And in right side, you need maths, statistics, visualizations, EDA, exploratory data analysis. So this is the complete, you can just remember this. You don't have to make a note of all these guys. After this presentation, I'll be sharing you this PPT to you. But yeah, you can jot down the doubts, what all you have, so that in the end, you can ask me. And please, like, do not have that come out of your comfort zone. I'm not your lecturer. I'm just a senior trying to help you out in order to get into data science. So keep that in mind. I'm just a friend you can just consider to help you out. So this is another well diagram. Let's go into the deeper side. So into artificial intelligence, we have 3 points such as machine learning, deep learning, NLP. So machine learning basically deals with statistical techniques. So so in order to go deeper into machine learning, there are coming slides where we could see what is machine learning. The subset of machine learning is deep learning and natural language processing in order to handle the text data. So you can see tons of text data which has been generated in Amazon. Like in Google, if you type something like anything, like please provide the best college in Bangalore, at the end you would be provided, the Google automatically generates a keyword. So those are all part of NLP applications, like text to speech processing, speech to text processing, and text summarization, and chatbot. All those things are applications of NLP. Let's see what's the difference, like versus of AI versus ML versus DL. So artificial intelligence, a technique which enables machines to mimic human behavior. So how humans are able to think, see, and speak. So we are trying to build a AI application. So using data science tools we are trying to build an AI application in such a way where the machines can do all its tasks on its own without any human intervention. That's the main objective. So just have it in mind, guys. If anyone asks you as a data scientist what you do, we build an AI application where it does everything on its own without any human intervention. So humans should not be involved in that. So it has to do in it everything. Our job is, in order to build it, we need to give it more data. So in order to give you, like, if right now if someone shows me Apple, I can figure it out it's Apple. But when I was just a newborn baby, or a 3 months, 4 months, or 1 or 2 years, just a toddler, so they used to show me Apple, this is Apple, a green apple. So that's where my memory started to register. This is Apple, yeah, Apple. So anyone in the future shows me this Apple, I'm able to say this Apple. So this is just an example. This is how we need to train the machines. We need to give them the data. So we had this AI technology not now, guys. We had it in 1950s, 1930s, but we did not have any data generated. In order to train the machines, in order to make them exposed to various scenarios, we need to have a lot of data. And now it's a time where zettabyte of data has been created every day. So machines get very strong actually by making them exposed to data. So this is where artificial intelligence is. And next comes machine learning. So machine learning is a subset of AI. It's a technique. So it basically uses statistical methods in order to make machines improve their experience. This is one of the methods. And the next comes is a much more advanced, is something called deep learning. So deep learning is a subset of ML, which makes computation of multi-layer neural network feasible. So deep learning basically deals with neural networks. Like it's much more advanced in machine learning, but the computation power of the CPU is very more. It basically uses like how for example, if you're able to see my hand, in order to move it right, so there would be several neural networks being involved between my brain and hand. So it has to pass the information, and from neural network it has to go back, and then I can move the hand to the right. So in order to do this, for the machines to do this takes lot of time, lot of neural networks being involved. So next, starting with artificial intelligence, let's go one by one a topic. Let's start with artificial intelligence, the history of artificial intelligence, then we start with ML and DL. So that's how the sequence goes, guys. I'm not able to see any chat window as I'm sharing the screen. In case if I miss, Rashmi, please help me to call it out.
Yes, I'll help you do it.
Okay. So artificial intelligence is a branch of computer science that attempts to simulate human intelligence in machines. As I told you earlier, it basically helps us to think like a human brain. Simple. Like how human beings do all our activities very easily. So we are trying to build an AI application in order to in order for machine to do same like how human beings are doing. So that's the main thing. So data science is complete. It's not one particular thing. It basically uses AI tools such as MLDL. In order to recap for you, the data science basically it uses AI tools such as MLDL, NLP, and this side it uses statistics, EDAs, etc. It's a combination of everything. It's the job of data scientist. So these are all buzzwords. They're like machine learning engineering and AI developer. So all does the same thing. It's just a designation which changes in company. So data scientist, you don't have to think that I'm a scientist like Abdul Kalam, just a tag or a role or designation. So that's the thing. So usually people who work in AI field, they're being called as data scientist. So that's a new word is what in the market. So you have machine learning engineer, you have deep learning engineer, you have NLP researcher. There are various roles, but at the end, everyone does the same job actually. So for a machine to be classified as AI, what should it do actually? So these are the tasks it's supposed to perform. First one is learn. It has to try to acquire the data and the rules. And next, it has to self-correct it. So based on correct itself without any external assistance. Without external assistance are we human beings. So we should not involve, it has to correct itself on its own. And later it has to draw the conclusion using the rules. So rules and data would be given by we. Like human beings would be feeding the data, and ML, DL, NLP, all these AI tools, it basically it tries to get the relationship between these, and basically it tries to predict it. So before going to, let's see, as I told you, AI is not something very new. It has been for maybe hundreds of years, but it's a lot of scientists who tried to, they wanted to make some machines which would think like human beings. But unfortunately, during that particular time, we didn't have any data in order to train the system, and now it's the right time. So let's see some few history of AI so that you come to know this is not something new. We had it long time, but we weren't aware. So Turing, as you have heard, the Turing test in 1950, Alan Turing wrote a paper, proposed a test that looked at whether a computer can think like a human being. So can machines think? So he wrote a paper on can a machine think. See, at 1950 itself, he thought about this idea. So definitely, this is not something new technology. So during those days, people had an idea, but they didn't have sufficient resources, data, capacity, all those things. So the father of AI, John McCarthy, coined the item artificial intelligence in a conference of Dartmouth. So he was very influential in the early development of AI and also helped developing the Lisp. So Lisp programming language is a logical processing programming language. So he used that in order to start with AI applications in 1955. A small AI in order to build a calculator, all those things. So the rise of AI in 1956 to 74. So the years after the conference in the Dartmouth were the most crucial period in the AI development and discovery. So DARPA, this particular thing was coined as AI innovation. This is where it started actually, like actual things, like all the linear algebra problems, and it started to speak in English, talk in English, all those things, where USA could do this. So in 1980s to 2000, this was the peak time where the rise of machine learning, what all I told you, AI as a science, like vision, like how human beings can see. This is called as computer vision. How we speak, this is called as natural language processing. So how we could move a hand right to left, this is called deep learning, which involves neural networks. And machine learning is something which involves statistical techniques. So face recognition, like any consumer cameras offer face recognition. This is all done in computer vision. So these are all branch of the deep learning, guys. In future PPTs, these concepts would be clear to you. Hope I'm going, just let me know if I'm going very fast or am I proper, my speed is proper. Just wanted to know in chat window. Can anyone type in chat window whether I'm going in a proper speed or, okay, thanks Shashi Kumar. Let me know in case I'm speaking very fast whether you cannot understand. It's fine. I'll reduce my speed. Okay. Okay. So in 1997, there was chess competition between Gary Kasparov and Deep Blue. So this was the first AI built application where he was being defeated. So this is where the computer won, and they had built an AI application with Gary Kasparov. So artificial intelligence, guys, as I told you, it's not something old, it's not something new. It's there, and right now we are surrounded by itself. So as these are some few examples, Google AI, like, hi, how can I help you? The way it answers, that takes lot of time, like lot of time to train those models, guys. Maybe it looks very easy for you. For example, if I have a Siri and speak here, so it just you the answer like hello Siri, just give me like wake me up at 3 a.m. It just hello, like it just replies to you. Ajit, the alarm is set at 3 a.m. In order to do that communication, it takes lot of computation, lot of mathematics involved, guys. It's not so easy to do it. That's what I said. But we are surrounded by everywhere. We are surrounded. In order to give an example, Amazon Prime. If you watch a movie, Kannada movie or Telugu movie, next time again you go, it shows something recommended to that. That's called as recommendation systems. That's a part of AI. If you go to Amazon, if you want to buy shoes or if you want to buy an iPhone, and next again if some sale has been announced, you'd be getting an automated mail saying that particular cost has been reduced. That's AI. And anywhere, Alexa, Siri, even if the Google Maps, in order to show from this map, in order to show the directions in Google Maps, if you put a source and a destination, it shows you the approximate time, right? That's like time to arrive at the destination. That's an AI. Everywhere, And also IBM in my company, we have this we have developed in Watson, where it does the surgical for any keyhole surgery. For example, if any stone in kidney, this is being done by IBM Watson, guys. So Pepper can recognize human faces and basic emotions. And also now, if you have gone to Manipal Hospital, in order to do the thermal scanning, they have used an AI where it can using your temperature without even touching you. So it just figures out a temperature. So that's an AI application. If you have gone to Old Airport or Manipal, so that's a new AI application what they developed. You can just show your face, and the system will say whether you are normal or you have a fever or not. So you're completely surrounded by AI, guys. So it's high time, I say, for all the juniors, like who are in 8th sem, 7th sem, 6th, like whatever, it's to start learning with, because anywhere you go, whatever, even if you have a job offer letter, even if you're learning, but at the end, some of the other day, you have to land in this particular, this is not a technology, this is not a Java coding, it's complete like end to end. This is where the last innovation has happened, and whatever innovation, last innovation of mankind is AI, and whatever innovation happens, it has to happen in AI. So that's the harsh truth. And if you have not started, maybe some have taken their own interest and started, but if you're not, this is the right time for you to start, guys, in college, where you can do all the projects. I'll help you out in this all. I'm very much happy to help you out, but I like to make I like to know your interest so that I can help you in the right direction. So the main object of the workshop is to teach you AI, also to give you the roadmap, what all you can learn. So let's go. What can AI do? Here are some of the problems best suited for AI to solve. So some of the tasks are superhuman tasks, tasks that are very challenging for human beings but easy for machines. Data intensive tasks, tasks involved analyzing large amount of data. So you cannot imagine, guys, the zettabyte of data. We as human beings, we cannot think in that level. We can only visualize 3 dimensions like X, Y, and Z. Maximum we can try to visualize the 4 dimension, but machines can imagine, it can visualize nth dimension. There's no count for it. So that's the capability of machines. And repetitive task. So manual tasks that follow logical steps to lead to conclusion. So many repetitive tasks machines can easily, the chatbots which you can see if you go to any website, you have a chatbot which has been hi, how are you? So then you would be getting a reply automatically. Don't think that there's some human beings who are sitting and trying to reply. No, there's all complete chatbots which has been deployed, and they are speaking to actually. And also you get a automated call nowadays. So even that is an NLP where it's text to speech. If you speak back, it tries to give you an answer or response in a proper and a timely manner. So unknowingly, guys, there are various applications of AI which many people are not known. So advantages of AI, basically, it basically uses to reduce error. So what human beings can do, human error which is not tolerable in IT industry. So those errors can be reduced in AI. So digital assistance AI can assist users in their daily course and activities. Difficult, difficult explorations. AI can work in hostile environment that will injure, such as mines, all those things. So one thing I like to say, you do not get confused between robot and AI. So the higher end application, end-to-end application can be anything without any robot, or you don't have hand. Like many get confused. AI means a robot. No, that's wrong. AI is an application. It can be with complete end-to-end. Like how you have Sophia, as you have heard of a robot called Sophia. So that's the first robot which can read news, all those things. That's a complete end-to-end robot where it has robotics involved, embedded systems involved, many things. But to have an AI application, you don't have to have a physical. Like you can have a software being dumped into the production. And next one is the medical application. As I told, IBM Watson, which can do the surgeries, it can detect your temperatures, doing such and diagnosis in medical field, and repetitive jobs. So machines think faster than humans and can perform repetitive jobs swiftly, and no breaks. So that's one huge impact of being using machines. So we as human being, we would be getting like tired after a few hours. Even if I take a class of some 4 hours, I would be tired. But machines, if I've developed the Ajit as a AI application, it keeps on doing lecture like close to 10-15 hours till the battery drains. So there is no rest for that. So now, in order to go, as I've told you, machine learning, deep learning, NLP. is one of subset like tools of AI. So let's start with machine learning. So machine learning comprises of three techniques: supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement. So supervised machine learning basically involves you have x1, x2, x3. Just give me a minute. My pen. Is my whiteboard visible, guys? Rashmi, can you just confirm me?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So please excuse me for my bad handwriting. My handwriting is very worse. I'll try to make it as presentable as possible. So we have three. One is supervised. This is unsupervised. This is reinforcement or semi-supervised. Or it's called as reinforcement. So this is so. In order to start with supervised, we have two. These are all like types of techniques, guys. Like under machine learning, you have supervised learning, unsupervised learning. Based on the problem statement, we have to categorize it and start doing. We have list of algorithms involved in this. So starting with supervised, you have regression and classification. So let's start with what do you mean by regression? In order to give you a simple overview, if you have weight as an input variable and height as a target variable, so these two are the columns what we have. For example, we would be, as I told you, we should be having n number of data in order to build a machine learning model. So we have like based on human trials, we would be having some, let's say some 8 to 9. Just to give you an example, guys, 70 kgs might be height 6.6 close to 77 or 6. That would be impossible. 5.6. So 7.7 would be 5.8. Then 80 around 6. So 82. So this is the regression problem. So regression basically we basically deal with continuous values, like discrete and continuous values where you have number to predict. So the question mark what I've given is we need to train the machine learning model up to this, like 70 kg 5.6, 77 kg 5.8, 86. So at 82, what should be doing? Like what should be the height? So that's the job of ML. So we need to train it with these 3 rows. I'm just giving an example. It doesn't work with 3 rows. We need close to 82 lakh rows in order to train it. But just to give you an idea of it. So in order to, so basically machine learning, it tries to learn the relationship between these 70 kg 5.6, 77 kg 5.8, 80 is 6. So 6 feet. So at 82 kg, what should be giving? Like it should be giving some particular number. So that is where regression involves. In order to predict the continuous value is where the regression is being involved. And next comes the classification. So this is basically, it's used to classify the target variables. So if you have x1, x2, x3, and if you have a target value of the business problem, such the business statement, the problem statement is like this. If you have x1, x2, x3, and y, So X1 stands for, let's say we need to classify the fish, whether it's a blue fish or like a red fish. In a fish industry, so if you pass like, okay, let me explain you in this way. So basically, we would be having the length of the fish and the width of the fish and the weight. So just an approximate parameters. So it has to classify it as red. So this is where the classification involves, like a classification problem basically deals if the target is something with classes and not numbers. So it has to, the machine learning model has to classify it automatically. Like if you give a height of the fish, weight of the fish, and the width of the fish, it has to classify automatically. So Ajit, if you ask me, Ajit, like where can I use this? I just try to make. So as I gave an example of fish industry, where this machine learning model will be useful is, so once you do the classification of all this, so basically in fish industry, they usually use the segregators in order to classify bad fish and unclean fish. So for you to understand, I would like to take two types of fish and try to classify it. Just consider this as a purple fish. I know this looks very lame. It doesn't look like a fish at all. But yeah, please pardon me for it. Mainly, I want you to understand the logic behind it. So this is type 1 fish. This is type 2. You can call it as a red fish and a purple fish. So this is something classification. And you have a scanner, a powerful scanner, where using the scanner, this is a sensor we would be getting to know the length of the fish, the width of the fish, and the weight of the fish. Before this, in order to, as I told you, we need sufficient amount of data based on human trials. They would be, we call it as, in industry, we call them as business domain expert. So each and every business, we would be not knowing how it deals. So we have a business domain expert, like in fish industry, who tells us, who tries us, and he gives us the data, like based on his human trials. He would be basically on fish trials. Basically, he would be giving us the data, like the length of the fish, width of the fish, and classified. Like say around 30,000 rows, he would be giving us complete data. So based on this, we would be building a classification model in such a way and dump it into this machine learning. This is where the machine learning comes, and scanner is something which just gives us the input to the ML. And here, based on the training what we have given, like x1, x2, x3, as I showed you in the previous example. So if the length is some 6.5 and width is some 3.5 and weight is around 4 kgs, 5 kgs, it has to classify it as red fish, and it'll go to this particular. If it is other way around, it'll go to like type 2, purple fish. So here the machine learning model, it basically helps us to classify the types of the fish. It takes the input from the scanner. Like the fish passes, like after the model is being built, the fish passes through this conveyor belt and it goes to the scanner. The scanner takes the input, and from the scanner output, it goes to the ML. So ML basically based on the trained, how it is being trained, like it is being showed, as I told you in the beginning, apple, like after seeing many apples, I can classify it as apples. So that's where ML stands for, ML is basically trying to classify the fish. Basically, it's a red fish or a purple fish. So that's where machine learning is being, just to give you an idea, guys, how it is. You have a lot of mathematics being involved here. So just to tell you, like where ML is, what's the job of it. I hope you're able to catch me. I'm just seeing the chat response. Can anyone respond? Because it's complete silence. So I'm not sure, like whether you guys are able to understand what I'm saying. Rashmi?
Yes, yes, it was clear. It
Just
was.
wanted to know a quick check whether they're able to follow. Anyone? Shashi, Shrikant, Janardhan. Okay. In case anything, you can ask me and call me Ajit, guys. Just consider me a senior, just 1 2 years senior to you as a friend, and you can ask me any questions. It does not mean I'm not a lecturer, so you can ask me any questions. So that's fine. Thanks, Janardhan. So good you are able to understand, because from my end I be explaining. So I want to know how the other end goes also, right? Because it would be good if you tell me. And you can say me that you're not able to follow. I'll stop from there and explain again. Okay, let's continue. So this is where the machine learning comes, guys. So regression and classification is, yeah. So regression and classification are the two techniques, and you have many algorithms inside regression. You have linear regression, logistic regression, decision tree, random forest, etc. And there are algorithms in the sense they're set of mathematical terms, equations. As I told you, machine learning basically uses statistical techniques. So these algorithms are the equations. So our main objective is, let me show you an equation where definitely everyone would have seen y equal to mx plus c. Please do not say that no one has heard us or seen, at least in 9th, 10th maths. So this is the main, guys. I've told you, right? Yes, not something new. We know it, but we do not know how to use it. So here x is the independent variable. Okay. Just, I'm sorry for this handwriting, but you can write it in a notebook. And y is the target variable. I'll just take a new notebook itself so that I can write it in a proper way. Yeah. Y equal to mx plus c. So x is the independent variable. And y is the target variable. Okay. So we had two problems, regression and classification. One was giving a height, it has to give the weight. Another one was you have x1, x2, x3, like the length, width, and weight of the fish. It has to say whether it's a red fish or a purple fish. So for all these, the common thing is this particular equation. So x independent variable stands for the height, and y gives the weight. So in the linear equation, as you can see, if you plot a graph of y and x, you have like y equal to mx plus c basically says you have a linear line and you have a slope and an intercept. So this is c, and you have m, which is the tan theta. So basically our main aim for model, in order to learn, we need to try to give the value of m and c. This is where we have to do it, guys. That's where machine learning has been involved. If you get a value of m and c, we can get the weight. So I'll draw it again. For example, x, which is the height, and y is the weight. Okay. So I just wanted to draw this again here. So x height is some 6. I think I took the other way around. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So 6, and weight is 70 kg, and 6.1, 90 kg, 5.8, 85 kg, and the question mark of 5.7. What is it? So now in this particular equation, we have x, we have y, we need to find out m and c. So this is where ML has been involved, like trying to find a proper MNC, putting these values. This is all done by system, guys. I'm just giving you an overview. If you give the proper value of MNC, it gives the target. So this is where machine is trying to learn. So whatever it is. And after getting the value of y, we try to compare with it. For example, now we have y equal to mx plus c. We feed the x value, we feed the y value. In order to predict this, let's give this input data only. What is there? 5.8 is known, 85 is known. We need to get it as 85. So that's the result. This is where we have got the result based on the data, like trial and error method. So right now we have 5 as 85, y as 85. We have m certain value, what we have got it. X we would be giving it as 5.8 plus c. Sorry, it's like this. Mx plus c. We will be feeding the x data, we will be feeding the y data, and we will be seeing the c data. So if you give x as 5.8, m and c as a value, which we would be calculating, we have to get as y as 85. In case if you get y as 83, which means we have an error of 2. So the main intention of machine learning is to try to reduce the error. So try to train it in the data, reduce the error, so that the new parameter what we feed, it should be giving us an accurate result. Hope I'm clear with this. Like you just got an idea like what we are trying to do in regression and classification. So let's go to the next topic, guys. So the next one is unsupervised machine learning. So under machine learning, we have covered supervised. In this, we have regression and classification. And next one is unsupervised. So unsupervised basically, it deals with clustering actually. It doesn't do any predictions like how I had x1, x2, x3, and you had y, which could predict whether it's a continuous or a categorical, all those things. Whereas in unsupervised, it just tries to group the data. So as I told you, in unsupervised, we're trying to group the data. In order to give an example, in Bangalore, you have mixed set of people, Kannadigas and non-Kannadigas, as you are all aware. So these are the dot points, completely what we have plotted. We have got the data and we have plotted. And now we need to categorize between Kannadigas and non-Kannadigas. That's the main thing. So unsupervised basically does it. It tries to group the data between the two classes. So grouping is what done by clustering. Like clustering, basically, unsupervised learning involves clustering. Clustering means grouping the data. So you have to group the data like group A, group B. So that you will come to know, you will try to segregate and perform further machine learning approaches. I hope this is clear too. I can say you the maths, guys, but I have to stop it in certain level so that I don't have to go deeper into it. So basically, as you can see, unsupervised, identify the clusters. So last one, reinforcement learning. This is where the robots have been involved. It has to learn from its mistakes. So we give them, there's something called penalty or like reward being given to reinforcement. So robots, basically, if it falls down, it has to get up and it has to go forward. So this is where the reinforcement is being done. So supervised learning, as I told you, the goal of supervised learning is to build a mapping function that takes the input data, what I told you, the input data's height, and predict the value of predicts the output data. So weight. As you can see here, these are the examples like labels, cats. Like you feed it into the machine, and later it has to classify. This is the classification problem. This is cats, not cats. Like it has to classify it. So this is a classification problem, guys. So next one, there are two types of supervised machine learning. One is the classification regression. I think I have already explained this particular slide. As you can see in this, it's trying to classify it, whether like type 1 fish, type 2 fish. Here, regression. So we have y equal to mx plus c being involved. You have a linear equation, and this is the target value, the predicted value. That is what we call it as y cap. So this particular thing is trying to predict your target value. So now, as I told you, in supervised, you have two classes. One is regression and another one is classification. In order to do this, we have certain algorithms being involved. We make use of algorithms. These are the list of algorithms: linear regression, logistic regression, support vector machines, naive-Bayes, decision tree, linear discriminant analysis. So based on the data, in order to give you an overview of it, because I cannot go deeper into the mathematics in it, but in order to just give you an overview, we make use of these algorithms in order to give us the best result. So which machine learning model gives us the best result, we make use of it by checking the accuracy of it. How good the model, basically to tell you how good the model's performing. So these are the list of algorithms: linear regression, logistics, support vector machine, naive-Bayes, decision tree, LDS. So next topic, what I've already explained, is unsupervised learning. In unsupervised learning, only the inputs are known and the model is trained on the inputs. Like, it's trying to find out the patterns. So machine learning mainly thing is it's trying to find out the relationship, guys, between X and Y. So once it's able to, like, the more data you feed it, the more relationship will come to know, and the better accuracy it will be providing. So as you can see in unsupervised, you give the raw data completely, like you have a green, blue, red, all those. You feed it to the data like a model, and after the processing, you'll be getting three groups: red, green, purple. So this is where the clustering is being used. Unsupervised is basically cluster the data, simply grouping it. So types of unsupervised learning. So one is clustering, as I've already told you. Another one is associations. So basically, it's try to associate with one point to another point. How, like, trying to discover the rules inside the input data. So under unsupervised also, like how we have linear regression, logistic, decision trees. Under supervised, in unsupervised also, these are the algorithms which are all being used. You have k-means clustering, a priori algorithm, hierarchical, principal, DB scans. So if you ask me, Ajit, like, what is this? How you can just, as of now, you can just think as a mathematical equation. So this is basically, you use these packages, feed the data, check the accuracy. So at this particular level, you can just understand this as a equation where we feed the data, check the accuracy. Feed the data, check the accuracy. That's it. So which model gives us the better accuracy, we consider that. That's it. So reinforcement learning, as I've told you earlier, it involves agents are goal oriented, like a robot. Like, it tries to fall down, again get up. It has to do on its own, guys. Like a physical robot, without anything, like any support. It has to learn it. It has to. We don't have to teach. Once it's been taught, like for example, let's consider yourself. Like right now, we are learning something, and you stop at that particular time, you get confused, again you try to Google it out. So you're trying to do on your own without anyone teaching you. So that's called reinforcement. No one will be teaching you. Based on their mistakes, you'll be learning on its own. So that's how reinforcement learning goes. So this is the overview of machine learning, guys. So to give a recap of this, in data science we have AI. In AI, the end goal is to build an AI application. So in data science, we have AI tools such as machine learning, deep learning, NLP, and also statistics, probabilities, EDAs, exploratory data analysis. So all these combines of data science. So now we are done with machine learning. So machine learning has three types, such as supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement. Under supervised, we have regression, classification. Under unsupervised, you have clustering. Clustering means grouping the data. And the last one is reinforcement learning. And each has list of algorithms. So just have this in mind. This is sufficient to start, because I cannot go deeper into it with this time constraint, what was given to me. So next, going with deep learning. So deep learning, as I told you, it's a subset of machine learning. So it basically works on neural networks. So neural networks are like human beings. How we have complete neurons in a body. In order to send the information, even in order to move the hand from left to right, so tons of information has to be processed in my brain and come back to my hand, and I can move the hand to right. So this is where deep learning is. It's much more advanced when compared to machine learning. You do not have any statistical techniques being involved. The computer vision, natural language processing, all those comes here. So this is where the core area of interest now. The innovations, what all are going now, is happening in deep learning, and the processing time is very high. That you need a very high good CPU computational resources very high. So just to give an example, there's a terminology called BERT, BERT. So that's an algorithm, like how we have linear regression logistic. That's a state of art algorithm developed by Google in 2018. That's just 2 years, 3 years back. So that particular algorithm, like how I gave you input parameter x1, x2, x3, that particular algorithm can take 130 billion input parameters. So that's the capacity of BERT. Like how I gave you x1, x2, x3 and predict y. BERT has the capacity to take 130 billion parameters as input files. So it's basically used in NLP extensively. Google owns completely. Like they have open sourced it, but yeah, that's the state of art algorithm. And next 2019 we have GPT-3, GPT series. So I'm just giving an idea of it, guys. I know like some can follow it, some may not, but just to know something very big is happening, where even as students we would not be knowing. We would be in our own environment, but in technology, something very big things are happening. So just to give an idea of it. So let's get back to deep learning now. So let's see what's the difference between ML and DL. As I told you, deep learning is a subset of machine learning, and it's used to extract useful patterns from the data. So it takes the input data. In machine learning, basically, it takes the input data, it performs feature extraction, then the classification is done. Like car, this is a classification problem, car, not a car. So in deep learning, you take the input, extraction, classification, everything is being handled by neural networks. So neural networks, like how, like in this particular diagram, what you can see, let me draw the whiteboard. The same example, I'll be taking the fish to classify the red fish and the blue fish. So the input what we had given for fish to classify, it is x1, x2, x3. The length of the fish, the height of the fish, and the weight of the fish. The output is supposed to classify as whether it's a red fish or a purple fish. If I'm not wrong of the color, it's just a type of fish basically. So this is where neural network is being used. You just feed the data and it does automatic computation on its own. You have list of packages in TensorFlow, Keras, all those things, and it just gives us the output ready-madely. But it takes a lot of time. Like it has to send the information to, these are all neurons. In deep learning, as I told you, it basically uses neural network compresses of neurons. Basically, this is the input layer actually, this is the hidden layer, and this is the output layer. Input layer. And this is the overview, guys. Like there won't be one hidden layer. This is a simple overview. You have billions of input parameters, tons of input hidden layers, and the final target would be something different. You won't be just a small example where you can understand. Hidden layer, and this is the output layer. So how the flow goes is, as I told you in machine learning, if you can remember, we had a loss actually, like y and y hat. It predicted, but 83 we got it, and the actual weight was 85. So the same problem here is like in fish, whether x1, x2, x3, length, width, and height, we classify it as a wrong fish, like purple, or like any different one. So it calculates the difference, whether it's predicting properly or not. If not, it has to go back again. Like there's something called weight parameters in each. While sending the data, you'd be adding a weight parameter. So the main objective here in neural network is it has to reduce the error. So there's something called gradient descent. If you check, so error rate is something which is high, and it has to reduce in such a way it has to reach to the global minima. Mainly, just for you to understand, error, you have to, main objective is to reduce the error. In order to reduce the error, you have to adjust the weight parameters. Simple. So to get the proper accuracy, the error is called here as loss function, loss or cost function. So error rate is the terminology in neural networks is called as loss function. Main objective is to get the proper value of W in order to reduce the loss. Whereas in machine learning, we have to get a proper value of M and C in order to reduce the error. Mainly, we can play with these two parameters, guys. So mainly all these concepts as we get a proper value of M and C and reduce the error, yeah, our model is too good. We can get very good accuracy. So that's the main objective. You don't have to worry about maths, all those things. Main idea: reduce the error, get a proper value of M and C, and in neural networks, get a proper value of weights. That's simple. But for you to understand this, there's lots of maths involved. Remember that. It's not so easy, guys. For you to understand now, this is sufficient. So as I told you, deep learning model utilizes ANN, artificial neural network. The diagram what I showed you now, so that's a ANN. They are inspired by biological neural network of human brain, like how a human brain works. We have tons of neurons interconnected to each other in order to pass the information, all those. So that's where it's tried to use the same terminology in deep learning. So you can see, like in many geographical channel, they would be showing a person. He would be 230 volts. He would be directly passing on his hand, and he would not be sensing anything. I think you would have seen such things. Like there are certain human beings, like they don't feel that sense. Like particular, even if you pass 230 volt of electricity, they won't be having any impact on their body, which means the neurons does not work there. They cannot sense at all. It would be completely deactivated in that particular place, or they won't be feeling that particular way. The neurons would be completely gone, or they would be developed in such way. So that's where it's not some miracle or something is happening, but to speak in a science perspective, the neurons have been deactivated in particular body. So this is a clear picture, guys. My drawing was pathetic. I tried to explain you in some manner, but this is where the neurons, like you can see input layers, you are feeding the data and the target. Yeah, so it tries to imitate neural activity in brain in order to learn to recognize the data patterns. Mainly in deep learning or machine learning is trying to find the relationship. That's the main part. So trying the relationship, trying to reduce the error, giving good parameters like MNC, here weight parameters, that's the main objective. If someone asks you, what are you trying to do? Main objective, trying to reduce the error, trying to get a best fit line, all those things. So here you're sending a image of a cat and a car and a Barbie. So it's traversing into the hidden layers. You have 3 hidden layers here. Like the count, it varies. It's all like a trial and error method, guys. There isn't fixed parameter. Like how we have a syllabus in engineering, there's no flow like that. You need to do, like that's what they tagged us as a data scientist. Like we have more into trial and error method. We do not have a sequence. After this step, go this step, this step. No, we need to do trial and error, various runs, like input layer we need to give. For example, here hidden layer, we have given 3. Later we'll check the accuracy. We'll change back the hidden layer to some 10, check the accuracy. So basically, it's a trial and error approach. So the deep and deep learning refers to the large number of layers of neurons that help to learn various representation of the data. As I told you, this has been explained: input, features, hidden layers. We have 3 hidden layers, and the output, prediction. And later it would be calculating the weights here in the hidden layers. It would be traversing back. So basically, like sending the data to hidden layers, check the output. If the output match is fine, if not, again come back, adjust the weight. That's the main idea here. So the Facebook's Deep Face, released in 2014, uses neural network to identify human faces with 97.35% of accuracy. So every model does not mean it has to percentage with 100% accuracy. There isn't any model, but we try to get a better accuracy. A very good accuracy stands with 0 to 1. Like basically this 97.3%, it's basically in percentage. Else it's 0 to 1. So like 0.99 is a very good accuracy, and it's high. It's very difficult to get. So here 97.35% is brilliant. Though they have large, in order to get this particular accuracy, guys, they have to train it with billions of images. So that's when, like as I told you, higher the data given to the model, more it can learn, more accuracy. So the facial recognition system was trained on 4 million images uploaded by Facebook users. So now you could see, like before and all, like initial Facebook was launched, we had to tag them like photos, like this is Ajit, this is X, this is X, Y, all those. Now the Facebook itself recognizes, yeah, this is Ajit's mother, Ajit's father. They are trying to recognize it. So that's the advantage. Like that's where it's growing now. And self-driving cars. So self-driving car where Google has been developed uses variety of cameras, sensors to perceive its surroundings and move safely with little or no human input. This is one of the application of AI. So this is the end-to-end. You don't have to consider this. This is under deep learning or machine learning. It uses everything, guys. It's not one simple thing which is happening here. There are tons of data generated, lots of models. There's not one model, and it works in a multi-manner, multi-layered structure. As I was telling you this buzzword, what is this computer vision? Simple, trying to mimic human being. We have an eye. In order for a system to recognize an image, we are trying to build an eye for it. So that's where computer vision is being evolved. Main objective is to make a machine like a human being. So NLP stands for speech, natural language processing, what I'm speaking now. In order to see, we need something, right? So that's where computer vision comes. The field of computer vision, it uses deep learning neural network methods to solve challenging problems such as facial recognitions. So as I told in Manipal, like this is being used. Recently, if anyone has gone to Old Airport Manipal, it's the scanner is kept, guys. It's really good actually. Like if you keep your face in front of the device, it says you the temperature, all this. So that's good. And next one is augmented reality. So this is where the gaming, everything, the movies, everything is being done, and image classification and gesture recognition. So like if I give a gesture, it tries to find out what the gesture says, and it tries to say it out. For example, I can completely automate this room using gesture. For example, if I give like this or something like this in front of a camera or something, it tries to turn off the lights in my room. So that's the use of gesture recognition. And also now another thing of using deep learning or computer vision is the images. If you take it, if you're trying to, if you're not a professional photographer, if you have some old images, blur images, you can try to modify it, and not to try to modify, you can use it, you can use a deep learning and try to increase the brightness. You can do the pixel level advancement so that it will be clear. So in the next slide, you can see it's now the old photos, what all you have, like your parents would have stored a lot of black and white, which isn't clear, all those things. It's now possible to restore old black and white images and generate artificial videos with accurate lip syncs also. Even during videos also we can do it, and even images also we can do it. So this is the another one, what Amazon and Siri, advanced neural network algorithms are being used to synthesize text into a variety of voices and languages. So recent stats shows a speech recognition function on digital assistant work better than before, and customers have almost tripled the use of speech interface, like what you send to Siri or Alexa, hello Alexa, turn on the light. The way it has been functioned involves a lot, guys. It needs tons of data. So people, as you said, data is the fuel. Who wants the data? They are the owners. So Google, I feel, according to me, it's my personal opinion, they own the world. So they have tons of data. Everything is under control. And also I've heard Amazon, or even if it's in off state, it tries to record what all you're speaking. For example, you and a mother would be speaking on something that you want to choose. It tries to record all those. Even though those parameters are there in this, it tries to record your, oh, okay, you're trying to buy a new shoe. So it sends the information to Amazon store, like the Amazon app, what is it? And it immediately recommends you all shoes, whichever in your price range or whichever in a budget or something based on the past history. So this is where it's very clever, and it tries to do like keep your life simple. And also like everything has an advantage as well as a disadvantage. Like it depends on how good you use. So we have something called data leakage, all those things. The security wise, you need to be careful. Yeah, but Google would be having a sufficient amount of security in terms of data leakage, because it's not supposed to give the data to anyone. Only the Google holds it. So they have to have that particular data security which is being set. And next one is healthcare, guys. So this is where I was involved. So where we had billions of data in IBM Watson in order to do the surgical. We had a doctor involved in project of in order to build a IBM Watson. So where it could do the keyhole surgery if you have a kidney stone. So the system or sorry, yeah. So the system itself, I mean the robot itself does all those surgeries, and it does without any human intervention, and accuracy is more than human beings, guys, trust me. So we have implemented this in Manipal Hospital. So IBM Watson is functioning, and it is live, and it is performing surgeries too. So deep learning will reshape the healthcare industry by providing computer-aided detections and diagnosis. So drug discovery, precision medicines, image analytics, diagnosis. Everywhere we are using AI, like completely AI in the sense I'm not pointing to MLDL. It's complete end to end, like machine learning, deep learning, NLP. All those things are used, guys, there. So all this long I was speaking about images, a regression problem in machine learning, classifications. Now, in order to deal with speech data, I can go back to a Venn diagram which had NLP intersection of deep learning and machine learning. In this particular thing, NLP stands for natural language processing, which means it's used to process the text data and the speech data. So you can see the intersection of ML and DL, which means it basically uses ML and DL in order to build a NLP. So in order to start with NLP, what is NLP? I think the time is 12. It's been 1 hour. So do you want me to have a 5-minute break, or can we continue this class, guys? Let me know. Hello? I'm seeing the chat window, guys. If you want a break of 5 minutes, we can take a break of 5 minutes. Okay.
I think we can just continue.
But we can have a break, Janardhan.
Yeah, maybe like a 5 minute break or something just to sip
Yeah, just
water.
to you can just refresh or drink water. So then,
Yeah.
okay, guys. So 12:03. So now let's come back at 12:08. Is that fine?
Yeah, sure.
So guys, hope I'm audible. Rashmi?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, thanks, Bindu. So now starting with NLP. So before going to NLP, how the class is going, guys? I'd like to know whether you're able to understand at least some use. Like, did you feel your time was worth it? You can say in chat at least. That would be helpful for me to know the overall crowd, how you people are feeling. Like up till now, like were you able to get?
Yeah, like we definitely felt it good because to the people who are hearing machine learning all for the first time, so these terms are like the main terms to go ahead. So
Yeah,
getting a heads up on these will be useful to go further.
yeah,
So
that was the main intention. Like for me to do this, for me to explain you something also, I cannot go in deep. I have to stop it to certain level. Like even
yeah,
if I'm
yeah,
saying, so that's the where problem for me is to I cannot go to. I love to explain due to time and many other factors. I cannot explain. Sorry for that. Yeah, but yeah, I just my main motive is to understand the terminologies, guys. Let's see how the thing goes further. So in future, but you just have to know what is doing like each thing. That's sufficient for me. So that's where like you like it will be helping me out like what I can explain in future classes also. So now we are done with ML and DL. Thanks guys. Thanks thanks for this response. So now let's go with NLP. So NLP, as I told you, so first it's a subset. It basically uses both ML, machine learning, as well as DL. So NLP is one, the BERT what I told you, which Google is using. So this is a concept of NLP, text data, text summarizations, basically. If I open Google, if I'm trying to, you can see various inputs coming, right? Here, this is not what I have. Like this is where the BERT, like background, there's some model being deployed, guys. And it's trying to recommend me all these searches. Where can I find Happen? Where can I watch Godzilla versus King? Where can I find Peace? Good. So these are the things based on the past data Google have trained. I've told you, right? They have trained the BERT model based on 130 billion parameters. So what, like, where can I find doctor? So it's trying to change it. You can see, right? It's trying to train it based on my input. Or what should the text whatever I give, it's trying to change. What should I do if I have COVID? That's the hot topic, right? See, if I have is the first thing I did not mention anything as COVID. What should I do if I have symptoms of COVID? Hemoglobin high, if I cannot sleep, if I lost my phone, everything. So it's trying to give a vast recommendations. So in order to do this, guys, trust me, there's huge background computation happening where we in front end we would not be knowing. We just want an output. So that's the main thing. But yeah, this is what is happening to give you an overview, guys. So let's start with what is NLP. It's a branch of AI. So it basically uses human language, computer science, everything. The mixture forms an NLP. It helps machine to deal with human languages. So whatever it is, like a machine translation, like English to Hindi, uh, English to Kannada, Kannada to English, everything basically uses NLP. Then text summarization. If you have complete text close to a billion, like many paragraphs, some 100 paragraphs, completely it has to summarize, like tell us the overall, what does it say. So there the NLP is used. Text to speech, speech to text, everything is used. So mostly, most of the natural language processing technique depends on machine learning to derive the meaning from human languages, basically. So interaction between humans and machines using NLP. Step one, human talks to the machine. Like I speak to Siri or Google Alexa. It captures the video. So then it does the, like it captures the audio, then audio to text conversion it does, pre-processing of the text, then data to audio conversion again, then machine responds to the humans to the audio file. This is where the complete cycle happens. So you build a model in such a way, like like it takes the input data, and here from 3, 4, 5, and 6, this is where the model building happens, like pre-processing everything. In the step number 3, 4, 5, 6, this is where the machine learning or the deep learning has been involved, where we use it. In step number 2, we just capture it, that's it. So in order to understand NLP, let's first understand the human language. Like you have like English, you have certain grammars, alphabets, conjunction, preposition, articles, parts of speech being involved. First, like in order to solve any NLP, as I told earlier, any problem statement, any domain, we need a business domain expert, guys. Me as a data scientist, I do not know knowledge of any domain. Based only knowledge of data, but what mainly, if you have the end goal, you need to generate revenue for the company, guys. No matter what technology are you, remember this: if you do not generate any revenue, whatever AI product I build is of no use to the industry. So for every domain, you will be having a business domain expert. For example, if I have a problem in steel industry, in order to predict whether it's a rust iron or a non-rust iron. I do not know, guys. Like how do we, like there would be certain like people who know very well in iron industry, basically steel industry. They would be having business expert. They would be giving me the data, but I have no idea about the data. What does it do? They say this is the data what we have got from the sensors. This is the target. So we basically make use of the business domain expert. And here also we have like many like economists, philanthropists, like they basically, we use a human language expert, people who are expert, like having a PhD in Sanskrit. If you want to build a model in order to convert every Sanskrit into English, we need to have a business domain expert. So we need to have a Sanskrit professor, like that. We need to have a domain expert, else we won't be knowing all those. So you, in order to, and also just another thing, guys, data scientist is not one particular one person can do. You have a data engineer, data analyst, you have a UI developer. So you have various people who've been involved. If I build an AI application, not that I would be doing, you have a team for that. So each and everything would be split into respective teams. And you have a big data Hadoop engineer who handles billions of data. So this is the thing, like multiple people would be involved. So coming back here, human language alphabets, a combination of alphabet is a word. A combination of word is a sentence. And later applying grammar rules, you get a meaningful sentence. So this is where is, that's how we understand a human language. So why NLP? So NLP is a hallmark of human intelligence. So now even if I'm just staring at you in the screen, how do you know that I'm an intelligent person? If I speak, if an interview, if you are giving an interview in a campus, or if you're selected, just because staring at his face, will he select you? You need to speak to him, try to impress him. He'll ask you questions. So that's where like you need to explain him the concepts, explain in theory. He would be giving you some coding. You need to try it out, write it out. So that's where it basically says about human intelligence in it. And text is large repository of human knowledge and is growing quickly. You have a lot of text data. So this is another core area of now exploration is happening. A very huge billions of dollars has been invested in NLP, because the text data what we get is more than image data. So both these computer vision and NLP as an extensive hot topic in industry right now. And people who are expert in this, they are ready to pay package of how much over you ask. That is what is it. They to give an idea, an NLP expert of close to 7 to 8 years or close to 10 years would be earning the package of close to 80 to 90 lakhs, guys. So and also the problem would be very high. So that's the package what they give you. Any company, at least 8 to 9 years experience you need to be having it. So the package they just pull, because a lot of this are happening in this particular area, and it's not so easy also. I'm just showing you a PPT so that you can understand the basics, but you have a long way to go. So that's just a trailer of a movie. Not even a trailer, might be a snapshot of the movie. So NLP in real life is speak recognitions, machine translation, as I told you, information retrieval and the chatbot. So chatbot you can see everywhere now. Even a doctor, if you go to Practo, you have a chatbot right now. If you're trying to register, you have a chatbot. If you go to any website, you have a chatbot. Immediately they'll tell you, hello, how can I help you? Then you speak, I want to register at so and so. Then you would be thinking, oh, there's a human being there. No, there's a chatbot which is being deployed basically on natural language processing. They will be trained on certain levels of speech and speech recognitions. So like Alexa, Siri, all those things. And information retrieval in order to scrap the data, get the what I showed you, Google, like trying to predict what is like what I want, like where is the doctor. Only I would be typing where's the doctor nearby, and here it shows various suggestions. So that's the thing. And machine translation, like English to Urdu to Chinese, anything. This is all done. Everything is there in Google. That's why I call it data is the fuel, and Google owns it. So they have tons of data. They can control everything, anything. So that's the power. And NLP in real life, information extraction, question answering, sentimental analysis, spell checks. So even you can make like the days are gone where you need to write a question and later we need to like someone providing the answer, later we need to cross check. No, this has been completely done by NLP. Like question and answering complete. It sets random questions and answers also. It would be having the background. So what answers you would be providing, it tries to match with it, and it gives a better accuracy based on the accuracy of the model. The Q&A has been designed. And sentiment analysis, you have like mainly when Amazon, if any product is not good, you would be giving some like very wrong like wrong comment of that product, right? Like the product is bad and the product is worst. You need to do some fine tuning, all those things. So that is where the sentimental analysis is. It basically takes the feedback of the customer and try to know the sentiment of the customer, whether he's feeling happy of it. For example, if, like after the tomorrow's workshop, I would be giving you a feedback form. Some might be as it, the 4 hours was worst. Hope I don't get that. So just give you an example. Like the 4 hours was useful. I'm happy. I need to learn something. If you give me a feedback, I would like to come to know your sentiment, whether you have a positive feedback on this workshop or negative feedback. And the spell check, this also I think you would have come across in Gmail. 1 second, guys, my battery is low. So in Gmail, the spell check is already been enabled. If you're trying to write a mail, you'll be getting a spell check if you write a wrong spelling. And the information extraction, what I told you, like trying to extract the information from various resources. So NLP in real life business usage, guys. So spell checks, as I told you, autocomplete, autocorrect, automate support, chatbot, product ordering, like all telephonic also. This has been voice support also. Before and all, like we have, it's called IVR, like we get a automated call response. If someone is trying to speak to you, if you call to Act, Internet, anything, I'm not I'm not sure where it's been enabled, but if someone is speaking other way around, but it's been an auto call recorded, like how we are chatbot, like you have someone voice assistants being enabled there, and monitor and analyze the feedback. So generate, this is where the sentiment analysis is. Like in Amazon, it's used vastly, guys. Recommendation engines, they have tons of data, and even Flipkart, all those e-commerce websites like Big Basket, everything. They try to recommend you mainly like something close to what, if, for example, if you buy some product like bread, they give some cheese close to that or something. You see, right? The recommendations. So those are all models which is run behind. So NLP in real life. So as I told, speech recognitions, these have been Google Assistant, Siri, Alexa, Cortana. So Alexa, turn on my chill time. It starts turning. It's been connected to your IoT. Here, IoT also comes in certain products of building artificial intelligence, guys. As I told you, many components such as robotics, Internet of Things. It depends on the application what you're trying to build, basically. Like for chatbot, you don't need any hardware sort of thing. For example, if you want to build such type of devices, you need to have IoT, Internet of Things, which like if you want to build robotics, you need to have all MLD and NLP, robotics, embedded systems in order to design those chips, all those things, and IoT, Internet of Things. It's a combination of all. Even the self-driving cars, it requires IoT, robotics. I don't think robotics, but yeah, machine learning, deep learning, all those things has to be there. But yeah, you can build an AI application without any hardware, like how we have chatbots, all the recommendation systems, all those. It depends on the application what you're trying to build. But at the end goal, the AI application, it has to do its work on its own without any human support or human intervention. So NLP in real life, as I showed you, the machine translation, what like it's trying to translate it, like you can see here, like from one language to another language. Let's see it real. I think it works. I should find it. See, it keeps changing. It's trying to learn what you're trying to. Each and every word I I try to add, it's trying to give me the closest one. And later, after I stop typing, it gives the accurate. ನೀವು ಹೇಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ? Which means how are you in Kannada. So uh, it's trying to learn, guys. Basically, like this is where NLP stands for. And in order to do this, there's lots of computation happening behind. So it looks good in front end, but in back end, you can see many wires, hidden wires being involved here. See at how it's giving. How was the workshop? Karyagara hegide means in a pure language. How is the workshop? It has various context. So it has to understand in what context also we are asking. For example, if you are saying bull is going high, bull means in shares and all, it means that one particular product is running high. In normal way, bull is going like bull is running high in the sense animal which is running high. That's what. So it has to understand the context what you're saying. So that's also where the intelligence is being hidden. We need to give them various trying the parts of speech. So that's also been taken care here. So Uber, the Facebook, Messenger, Zendesk are some of the companies who have implemented chatbots using NLPs. So they have complete end-to-end NLPs where it can like you will not know at all like whether there's a human being involved or a chatbot. That's the expertise. So this is the end what I wanted to teach you today, guys. Like this is what I had planned, DL, ML, and next half an hour or whatever it is time. Like I want to because data science pipeline tomorrow the topics would be data science, the pipelines, the route maps, the roadmap of it, what all you're supposed to learn, all those things. So today's topic was what I had planned was to start with AI, ML, DL, and a glimpse of all these. Like this is not the end actually. You have to learn a lot, but just a overview of it. So I like to take any doubts you have, anything, so that anyone now feel free, guys. You have more half an hour left, so you can ask me any doubt you have in terms of these topics or anything outside this. Anyone, feel free to ask. I'm just a friend to you. You can unmute. That would be good. Like Karthik Raj, you can speak to me. Like you can just.
Yeah, hi sir.
Hello,
So,
Karthik. No, don't call me sir. Call me Ajit.
oh, hi Ajit. Yeah, so I was interested in business analytics, and I know it has to do something with data science, as in like once the data science model is completed, it will be communicated with the shareholders and everything. That's where
Correct.
business analytics comes. So I was wondering, like, if I am already studying data science and I'm a little bit into it. So should I still try to deploy models and work on my data science skills,
Uh-huh.
or rather should I work on something else if I want to become a business analyst?
So you want to become a business analyst, am I right? Like you're interested
Yeah.
in business analyst. For in order to become a business analyst, having machine learning knowledge is good, but is not required actually, like completely. The pre-processing of the data science is required. Like I can just show you the PPT what I had here. So this is complete pipeline here. You data selection, data description, performing statistical analysis, all those things. So in order to become business analyst, Karthik, like you need to have the data to query the data, and you need to have the knowledge of statistics, what the data is saying, and some visualizations such as you need to learn Tableau, Power BI, or any of these tools. So I think that should be done. You basically has to give the stakeholders. So how you just have to, because everyone cannot read the data, only business analysts can read the data. So you need to try to give them information, try to make a story of what the data is trying to say. In order to do that, you don't need to have a ML. In order to become a data science, in order to become a end-to-end AI application, you need to have a machine learning knowledge, deep learning. But yeah, every knowledge is good. It's very well if you have it also. There's no wrong in that.
Okay, understood. Okay, that makes sense. So,
Yeah,
so learning skills like Tableau and Power BI would help me, right?
yeah. You can choose anyone, Karthik. You don't have to learn both. For visualization, you have even in Python. May I know, like you since you told you started learning data science, right? May I know what all you know?
Yeah, so I've done a few sample projects in Python, R, and I've like deployed like this machine learning model on. I've obviously done this Titanic data set, which everyone has done.
Okay.
And right now I'm trying to like build a recommendation model on like I'm built a sample website, so I'm trying to deploy one ML model there.
Like any,
Yeah, so far.
are you
Uh-huh.
trying to deploy on cloud?
No, yeah, I'm using Python anywhere. Uh,
Okay.
uh,
What is the IDE you're using? Jupyter Notebook.
no, I'm using PyCharm.
Okay, good. That's good actually. So that would be helping you. So I didn't get your question. Like, what you want to know here?
Yeah, so um, like as I asked in the beginning, like I was just wondering like if I should, still go ahead and like learn more about ML and AI if I have more interest in the business aspects of it. Um,
No, no.
yeah.
It's good to have business analysts don't do the model buildings. It's data scientists. We involve, like if you are given a tag as a data scientist, we have to do a role of data analyst, business analyst, data engineer, end-to-end application, complete model building. But if you go as a business analyst, you need to do the processing of the data. So for this, the tool, what I suggest you is SQL, SQL knowledge, like you need to query, get a database knowledge, and learn Python, like you told already, like learn to do the pre-processing of the data, and yeah, that should be fine. And you can choose one visualization tool because the stakeholders should know what you're trying to do, right? So you can visualize in the Python as well. You have Matplotlib, Cufflink, Seaborn. So if you want a very good visualization, you need to use Power BI or Tableau. You can learn any one. I suggest go for Power BI because Tableau it has license which is costly, and you just get a desktop Tableau where you cannot save anything. So, but yeah, I suggest you to go for Power BI, Karthik.
Yes. Yeah. Correct. In Tableau, I was using the public version of it,
Yeah,
so like, I think I'll
yeah,
be switching to Power BI. And
yeah. You
also, one more thing I wanted to ask was, so in like as you were saying, everything is revolving around data right now. So data science itself has like a big job security in the future. So like, how is job security in terms of business analytics?
trust me. Even my job is not secured. In any MNC, don't trust about. Only if you get one job security, go to government job. That's only secured. No job is secured at all. The tougher problem in if my job like depends on the performance, Karthik. Like in industry, this is how it works. Don't expect job security. Anyone can throw you any, like you can just be fired for any reason. It might not be. Don't even think about it. Only job security, government job. So that's the permanent
Okay.
where you can settle down. But yeah, if you don't worry about job security, definitely at this point you should not worry. Why do you have to have the fear that you lose job? If you are good in skills, technically, no one can fire you. But yeah, you need to work on it, technicality, all those things, and not just playing around. You need to learn. Actual learning starts here, guys. Actually, to tell everyone, actual learning starts. Do not have the fear of where I lose job, no corona recession. No, every day I'll be getting more than 7 to 8 calls. Not that I'm an experienced, even if freshers you can, I'll help you out in that. So don't have the fear, Karthik, the job security, all those things. Have you got any offer?
Yes, sir. I've like been placed in two companies, but it was not in like it's not a job role, anything to do with data science. It is
No,
a system engineers.
to me, freshers don't get a chance to decide. That's a harsh truth in India, actually.
Yeah.
So that's a harsh truth. So what I say you, don't have that mindset. I want to get into data science only in the starting. First, get into
Okay.
industry, guys. First, get into industry. Any job you get, I know it would be like now I've told data science. I need a data scientist job. You might do projects. It will help you to build your resume, portfolios, and all. Try to make more and more projects if you're interested in this. But get a job, I say. Like with a job, you can also always make a transition into data science.
Okay. And in terms of like higher studies, say if I'm going to do an MS, doing an MS in business analytics, do you think it would be worth the while?
Yeah, definitely. If you do it in a proper university, like in India, I would suggest all IIMs if you want to do business analytics.
Okay.
So in IIMs are the best. Do not go for any like if you want to do MS like in India, MS in the sense I've seen MIT Manipal Institute is good. It is a premier. Do not like if you go to particular. I'm not saying even MRIT is good, but the brand is something, right? You hope you understand that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
do it in a premier institute. If you want to go MS abroad, do it in a premier institute. That would be help. Just to go around for MS, everyone is going. Not do it. So go to some premier university that would help you out.
Okay. All right. That's it, sir. Thank you so much. That's it,
Yeah,
Ajit. Thank you so much.
yeah. So anyone else has any questions? Feel free. You can just unmute and speak to me. That would be helpful to know. Any doubts, guys? Any doubts? Like whatever it might be. You don't have to feel like you are asking to someone strange. I'm just a senior to you, your friend and CMR. I'm here to help you mainly.
Sir, have you worked on DARQ technology?
Sorry?
Have you worked on DARQ technology?
DARQ.
Yes.
What may I know the full form? Sorry, I haven't heard.
Distributed ledger, augmented reality, extended reality, and
No,
quantum computing.
no. That comes under reinforcement learning,
Okay,
which is
okay.
basically in augmented reality comes in computer vision, Umesh.
Yes, sir.
So so I haven't got a chance to work on computer in augmented reality completely, but I worked in computer vision concepts.
Okay, okay, sir. Actually, I have planned for creating a virtual classroom.
Hmm.
So to create an application, that computing, that technology is needed.
Yeah, but you can to start that you need to have a knowledge of computer vision.
Yes, sir. But quantum computing is very hard.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, quantum computing also is hard, but you need to have multiple tools being used, right? You need to dig into it.
Yes, sir. But to create an application, Python programming, quantum computing, uh, that is very hard.
Yeah, it is hard. Actually, it's not so easy. You start with step by step. So tomorrow I wanted to say the path. So in order to become data science, like what all tools you need to learn, what all like there's a flow, Mesh. Actually, there's not like one like a developer, like a Java developer for Java and do the coding. No, it doesn't do.
Yes.
Learn step by step. So in tomorrow's workshop, I will be telling you all those things completely.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hmm. Any other questions, guys? Anyone regarding any recruitment or any portfolio building, any questions? It need not be in data science alone.
So actually, I just found deep learning like more interesting to me. I'm from EC, so like I started doing courses in
Sanjana,
deep learning, and then I built a
your
few
voice is
projects.
breaking.
So
Your voice is breaking, Sanjana. Can you be bit loud?
can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's clear now. Tell me, Sanjana.
So like I was telling that of late I just figured that deep learning, like I found deep learning more interesting. but I'm from ECE background, so I started learning deep learning on my own. Like I built few projects, and then so like I was thinking, what could I study or do later, like which would give me a career in data science or deep learning.
No, deep learning, in order to learn deep learning, they would ask you what do you know in machine learning basically. So what I said directly, do not go like, since you have gone directly in deep learning, nothing wrong, Sanjana. But you would be missing the core maths, right? So deep learning looks
Yeah,
fantasizing to many, like the computer vision. I understand, like it looks really good. But what I
yeah.
say
So
you,
like until now, like until you told me about that deep learning is a subset of machine learning, I didn't know this. I thought
yeah,
it
yeah,
was a separate,
yes, correct. Many,
just
no,
like
not you. Many would not be knowing actually. They just know this buzzword, data scientist. Yeah, it's very hot skill. Will learn machine learning. They do not know how to connect to deep learning, computer vision. It's just a fancy terms, I say. So now were you able to understand?
yes, yes, it was clear.
Okay. So that's what I said to you. Start with machine learning. So which language are you comfortable with?
Python.
Okay, that is good. That is good. Do not have multiple languages, guys. One language is sufficient, and I strongly recommend Python because it has
Yeah.
huge libraries. You can build end applications, and it is easy to learn basically. And which
Yeah.
IDE are you doing, Sanjana?
Anaconda. I'm using Jupyter Notebook.
Okay, so try to use PyCharm slowly
Okay.
because end-to-end applications basically we use PyCharm. Anyway, tomorrow I will be telling you the roadmap so that everyone will come to know how, what all we have to do, the step-by-step process. So you told deep learning, like what projects have you done?
Yeah.
No, no. What projects have you done?
I have done a couple of projects like face mask detection,
Mhm,
and then real-time emotion detection,
mhm.
and then I'm
So,
working on image classification now.
okay. So, what algorithm are you using? You are using
Linear
AlexNet
regression.
regression,
And
linear regression.
yeah,
No,
but like for one, I think for the face mask detection, I used the um, scikit library, and
mhm.
then yeah,
Because there
but
are algorithms for such as AlexNet, VGGNet. That's all computer
uh,
vision algorithms.
yeah, so I was like I used different algorithms for different, so I think I used mobile v2 net or
YOLO,
something.
I believe. YOLO is what I think you would have used. I'm not sure. I need to see. But yeah, one second, guys. Yeah, do not jump directly in. Since you have done it's good, you are good, you are exploring something, Sanjana. But yeah, what I
Yeah,
suggest is go with the flow. Now you have understood, right? So where
yeah,
you're, so go with the flow. Do not go directly to the end. Start with the beginning.
yes,
Take
yes,
some time, then go to that end. It looks good directly dumping, like it's something good. But build your portfolio, guys, like in LinkedIn, Naukri, GitHub. Showcase your projects so that you will be getting more calls, more
yeah,
opportunities. So good, good, and you're trying something good. You are from EE background, right?
yeah, easy.
You're in final year or
No, no, I'm in my third year now.
oh, nice. You started very like the right time, I can say. So by the time you reach HM, at least more 2.5 years, 3 years. So try to build your portfolios, like make as much of projects so that at that time, like you would be having a lot of opportunities. Learn ML, DL, NLPs, all those.
Yes, yes, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Anyone? So,
Sir, I have a question.
yeah, tell me, Umesh.
Sir, how The AI will be involved in the, testing in VLSA, sir.
How AI will be involved in testing in
Yes.
VLSI?
Yeah, VLSA
Like
design.
what? Basically, it can test if you provide a problem statement and how well the VLSI, like if you build something in VLSI, so like I'm trying to give you, like trying to tell you like how we can do based on the problem. Like first we need to get the data, Umesh, like what you're trying to do in VLSI. So based on that data, we need to try to figure it out. We need to define a problem statement first. So what we are trying to test in VLSI, like whether you're trying to test the accuracy of it, like the final end product of it, depends on problem statement to problem statement. So first define the problem statement and try to get the data of it, like what, whether it's a sensor data. So and whatever the, when you're designing, you would be having many configurations, right? So all those data you need to try to get it, and later you need to do start building an AI application.
Okay.
At first you need to be clear with the problem statement, Umesh. Like if you just ask me how do I implement AI in VLSI testing, I cannot. First you need to define a problem statement. Problem statement is what problem you have.
Like
Based on that,
if I have a problem in the circuit, like something like fault modeling, something like bridging fault.
hmm, you okay.
So
So
will the software
in
be able to detect that fault?
yeah, definitely. Like we need to get the image of it. Like you have multiple images of the fault which you had previously, right? You told fault we have now, but we had the old faults and all, right? Complete. Like for example, if you have physically, you need to give multiple images to the data. So if any new fault comes, you like similar to the scanner what I gave you, the fish it classifies, right? The same way, it has to give multiple images of the previous fault. You need to have data. So any new fault comes, it will be the system would be able to recognize of that particular fault, any design fault or something in that, any physical break, anything. It's
Okay.
used heavily. It says, yeah, tell me, Umesh.
Nowadays in the most of the circuits that there are something called as built-in self test.
Built in?
Built-in self test.
Okay.
So will there be useful of AI, artificial
Not,
intelligence?
no,
Like
to be honest, yeah, no, I don't think they would be using that particular thing. Basically, it's used heavily in designing at the end to end. Might be in chip designing in order to get a better accuracy. Like I told a robot, right? There they would be using in order to get a proper accuracy in order to design it, like chip designing, fabricating, all those things. They might use AI.
okay, sir.
It's like everywhere domain. It's not like one domain. So everywhere you can use. You need to have proper data mesh. Mainly problem statement you need to define, and you can do it. That's not an issue.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. I wanted to show you the end to end, but unfortunately, the code how we write an industry level. Let's see. So don't get scared of this. I just wanted to show the level of coding what we do. This isn't. It's still in the pre-production phase. So this is the code. This is the main files. Actually, these are all the sub. So complete coding is being done here, where the complete pipeline is being built. So I've used PyCharm as the IDE, and the language what I've used is Python. So you can see multiple modules. You don't have to get scared of this. I just wanted to show like multiple things is happening in industry. What is it and how different it is when compared to teaching, learning, all those things, guys. So you have databases. For this, I've used SQL, in order to get particular from the database. We have scrapped the data. Then later, after getting the data, we have done the pre-processing of the data. So data scientist does not mean all the time we will be doing the machine learning model, guys. So that's wrong assumption. If you have thought that like data scientists will be doing only a deep learning, machine learning, no. 70% of our work involves in cleaning the data itself, because data what we get is unstructured. So unstructured in the sense it can be images, videos, text, all those things. Like it's not just a table format like rows and columns. So this is where 70% of our time we would be doing and struggling in order to get. So once that is done, then it's very easy to just plug in a machine learning model or deep learning model, get the accuracy, and build a pipeline. But 70 to 80% we'll be doing this. So data transformation. This is the PyCharm ID. I'll be explaining all this like tomorrow, so that it will be a good head start for you to start somewhere. Like instead of directly going into PyCharm, I'll tell you tomorrow there's something called Jupyter Notebook. Maybe some would have heard or some may not be, but yeah, that's a good way to start. Any other doubts, guys? Anyone? It can be anything. So So tomorrow the class would be like I would be telling you the data science pipeline completely. What? Yeah, tell me, Rashmi.
Nothing. I was just gonna ask if anyone has anything or if they're just done for the day.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have one last question.
Yeah, tell me.
So is like, have you seen anyone like do an MBA after doing data science? Is there any case like that?
There are Karthik, nothing like you should not like. But MBA, this data science is completely technical. But I feel like
Yeah.
you are more into business analytics, right?
Right. Yeah.
You are. In that case, you don't have to. You don't have to become a data scientist. Like you can have the pre-processing skills of data science, and you can do a MBA. That would be a rocket to your resume or your portfolio. But yeah, MBA if
Okay.
you're doing, go to a premier institute. Do not stick into what is it? You have to do MBA in IIMs only, if you ask me, and premier
Okay.
institute basically. Yeah, you can do it, but there's nothing you can after data science also you can do MBA. There's nothing wrong also, but take an opportunity, get into the industry is what I say. Like don't be particular. As first get into the industry, then start. You can transition even if you get a job as a developer or something. Just get into it. Later you can switch into data science. Then you can start
Okay.
learning while working only. You can learn data science. That's one advantage. You don't have to quit your job also.
Right. Yeah. Makes sense.
Understood. So
Yeah.
that's what. Since you have got two offers, may I know like what is that? Like what role is it?
So I got an TCS and Mindtree, and both are system engineer roles.
Okay, then you don't get a chance to decide. You just dump you there. Then they will take you, and you might be put trained into any technology. So one thing you can like what you can do there is right now. They have they given you any offer letter?
No, as of now, yeah, TCS has given. Yeah.
Okay, so what you can do is once you get into there, you can speak to the team lead or a HR, like telling I'm interested in business analyst. Right now itself, since you have time, when is the joining date?
They haven't announced that yet.
Okay, no issues. So now itself start preparing for all the data analysts like business analysts, what all you need, SQL, SQL, then Python, then Tableau solve. So once you get there, try to get into business analyst team itself. So that will shorten. So when you get in itself, try to find an HR who would recruit you or get in there, and even a team lead. So they can train you there itself. You can say, don't just be silent, guys. Once you get into the company, there's nothing. So try to tell them or speak out. Like here I can see like some are listening, some are typing, some are in mute, and some are speaking openly. You need to speak out in industry, and you cannot be hidden. You need to speak out. That's when they'll come to know. Until and unless you speak, no one will know what you're going through. So Karthik, what I suggest you need to speak to the HR, saying that this and this projects you have done. please put me into business analyst. In case why? Because if you don't speak out there, if they put you into some .NET developer or something, and you're interested in business analyst, then your career would be wavered a bit. Hope you understood that.
Yeah.
Understood. So you don't get a
Yeah.
chance to decide. That's what happens. They'll just dump you. They'll train you in different technology, and you start this thing. So some would get adapted to that. But if you have the flair now itself, speak out when to go there. There are chances they might give request to them, get a team lead, like you speak to the team lead, HR. Do not stop. Like say then, like have an expertise. So and try to get into business analyst team. That's it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sure. So this PPT I will be sharing, guys. Once I have like tomorrow's class, I will be sharing it to Rashmi so that it might be not like you can make use of it like just for a reference. That's it. There's nothing, just drawings what I've done, just a basic things what I'm. And if you in tomorrow's class, the agenda would be I'll be showing you the roadmap of data science, like what all tools you have to, the pipelines, what we do in data science, everything end to end completely. Like now we are seeing just a mid part of it, which is called algorithms. So, but we directly we don't do only that particular thing. We have lots pre and post of it. So we have to do all these in order to build a AI application. So, so tomorrow would be roadmap, and later. mm
If people are interested, we can have another session later on.
Yeah,
If
definitely. Like I would like to teach them based on the roadmap if they are interested. Like if you ask me, Ajit, I need sessions. Can you teach me data science? If you, I'm not a professor, sir. Like Chetan sir, like telling you can see by the way I explain. I go like industry level. Like Chetan sir is an expert. Like they are expert. They are professors who explain. But yeah, I'll try to give you a good understanding of Python coding. Then later I'll move on to machine learning, then deep learning, NLP, explain the maths behind, then visualizations, then scrapping, how to scrap the data, all those things. I'll love to teach you guys. But yeah, I need time for this. For like 1 or 2 hours wouldn't help. At least like maybe I'm not sure. I need to calculate. I need to know how long you people are willing to stay. So like any Saturday, Sunday, 1 or 2 hours a day, yeah, then I can stretch it for 1 2 months like that. But yeah, it needs time, guys. I cannot finish it off in 1 2 hours. You can see in certain topics I want to go down, like into equations, but it's stopping me there because I cannot explain you the next. If I go deeper, then I have to explain the next topic and next topic. That's how it is.
yeah, sure.
Yeah. So what?
Then
Yeah, tell me.
nothing. I just thought we can have it like after tomorrow. I'll share your details to them, and also you'll get a hang of how many are there and what the level of understanding will be. So based on that, maybe they can get back to you, or if a majority is interested, we look
Sure,
forward
no
to that.
problem. No, it's not an issue at all. Even if two is interested and if they want to learn, I'm ready to learn because since it's for my juniors, I like to help them out. You can reach me
Oh,
anytime, guys. My mail ID is there. My WhatsApp number I like to share. Anything you
yeah,
can call me. I'm just a mail away and a number. That's it. So anything you can not even into data science, anything related to. Please don't ask me easy questions. Microelectronics, how to do. That's I'm being so. Please do not ask me those. So Chetan sir is best person. But yeah, if anything related to data science something, I'll be very happy. Or how to crack a job, how to build your portfolios, all those things you can ask me tomorrow also, even today also. Since anything it might be. You don't have to have that. You need to have question in data science. Anything.
yeah, sure.
So
Any more questions, anyone? So I think yeah, everyone's done with their queries. So we can wrap
mm,
up for today and resume tomorrow with
yeah, sure,
more.
sure, Rashmi. Thank you very much, everyone. Like everyone who has come to 2 hours time. So tomorrow, let's see like what all I will do and main I yeah, sure. Thanks.
Thank you so
So yeah, so
Thank
hope
you
to
for
see you
your
all
time.
tomorrow.
Thank you for
No problem at all. So that's the thing. Like I wanted to be more interactive. Certain people are mute still. Come on, guys. You should unmute and speak out. Anything it might be. It should not be like only data science. So tomorrow I'd expect everyone to interact more, ask more questions, whatever it might be. Don't get scared. The Chetan sir is there. He wouldn't do anything to you. So ask any questions. It's right time for you to know something happening in industry, and I would be happy to help you all. So that's the thing. Main idea is to help you all. Okay. So that's it, Rashmi. I think
Yeah,
I do not have any question and I've covered. So
yeah.
hope to see you all tomorrow. I think 15 is the count. Tomorrow I hope it would be 15. Please do not bunk it, guys.
The count
So
was more actually. It went around till 30. But I think people have
left.
disconnected.
Okay, they got bored in between.
No, no, maybe network issues or anything. So
I'm
we're
not
not
sure.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, it depends on the mixed audience. I'm not sure everything. Some people, I'm fine with it. But yeah, if in 15, if one make use of it, I'm happy. There's nothing that
yeah,
everyone has to. I'm happy for that. This thing. It depends on them. It's their career. You have to decide. I have no lose. But yeah, if you gain it, I'm very happy, guys. Okay. So
yeah.
hope I see everyone tomorrow, and let's see the career path of data science, like what all tools to learn. Tomorrow agenda is this career path of data science, what all it is, what all tools we are supposed to learn, unwrap each and everything. And later, what you suppose you can learn it or I can teach you. We can have separate sessions on those. And you please be ready with doubts, guys. You need to speak out. Only I can see a few people speaking. So I want it to be more interactive. It's not like a classroom session. I keep blabbering and you keep listening and without having doubts. So that doesn't work. Since you're all going to industry, you need to speak out. Else it's of no use. So that's the thing. So tomorrow I expect everyone to speak out, ask doubts. Okay, guys, that's it. Thank you very much for joining everything. See
Yeah.
you all. See
Thank you.
you tomorrow. Yeah, bye. So Rashmi, will this be recorded, given to them in case if they want to see in future
We
episodes?
will be uploading it on our YouTube page, and the link
Okay.
will be shared via mail.
Okay, fine. That's good.
Yeah.